What up, Ho Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again. I feel like when you work from home, it's really easy for all of your days to just blend together. I frequently have no clue what day and or date it is, and so I'm always surprised when like holidays come up and stuff now. I'm always like, oh, tomorrow's Easter. Like, what are you talking about, tomorrow's Easter? What do you mean Mother's Day is only in a couple of weeks? What do you mean today is Thursday? I could have sworn it was just Monday yesterday. What are you talking about? And so that happened to me the other day because everyone online was like, oh my God, blah, 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 weed this, weed that. Make sure you enjoy your weed safely. These are the best ways to enjoy weed, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why are people talking about weed so much on the timeline today? Like Twitter, TikTok, whatever. And then I finally figured out it's because it was fucking 420. Like on my Instagram, people are like sharing like all this fucking weed and stuff that they got. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, I know y'all smoke, but y'all normally aren't like, yeah, weed, marijuana. You know, like that's normally not like what my stoner friends are like. So I was very lost. And then I figured out it was 420 and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't keep up. I don't be keeping up with the Kardashians, apparently. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe and sanitized. Today we are here to watch an ice cream sandwich video. This video is actually, as of the time that I'm shooting this, because it is past midnight, it's 2 years old. It's officially 2 years old. This video is a toddler, okay? It's in its terrible twos. It's throwing its cereal at you and telling you that you're its favorite mommy in the same breath, you know? I'm excited. The title is called Hurt with a period after it. Is it a Johnny Cash reference? Is it a Christina Aguilera reference? I'm not sure, but I'm excited to see what it is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, God.
I'm online looking at the rate of bone fractures in the United States, and
Why?
It says here on this very fancy website that approximately 6.8 million Americans break a bone each year.
God damn.
Considering the population of the United States is about 300 million, that gives us about roughly 2 out of every 10 Americans break their bones annually. And that means that 8 out of every 10 Americans don't break their bones annually.
Good news for
And
us.
I have never broken my bone. So that means, by the law of transitivity, I am 8 out of every 10 Americans. Millions of people in the United States alone are breaking their bones and having to deal with unimaginable pain. And I consider myself really lucky to have never had to go through that pain.
Samesies.
That terrible, just horrible, terrible pain. But I have hurt myself. Not on purpose, but just because I'm being an idiot. Or because I'm near an idiot. That idiot is also usually me. I've stubbed toes.
Which I firmly believe is one of the worst pains. Like, I get it. Oh, I broke my tibia. That hurt. Okay, but have you ever rammed your toe into a pair of steel-toed boots? Have you? Because I have. And the screech that I let out was unholy.
I got hit in the face with a shoe.
Oh!
Fallen off of a skateboard. Fallen downstairs. I've fallen down the stairs more than I'd like to admit. One time with an entire plate of spaghetti. But that was more of an emotional pain.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's sad.
So, I've never broken a bone, but the worst pain I've had to deal with was in college on an inflatable obstacle course. I was spending the better part of an absolutely gorgeous day inside when I hear fun coming from outside my window. I go to see what it is, and I see all of these inflatable bouncy castles and obstacle courses outside on the mall, which is like the main area of the school.
Okay,
Near
like
the end of the year, when finals happen, the school rents out this third-party entertainment company to blow up all of these obstacle courses and games for the students to play on so they can unwind for finals, which makes sense, and it's really nice. And it's a lot better than some half-hearted email about how not to let finals get to your head.
Right.
This was, instead, a really nice thing for the school to do. It was actually really nice. They had bouncy castles, an obstacle course, and they had one that you had to do like this. I don't know how to explain it. It's not important.
Okay.
What is important is the obstacle course, because that's where all of my friends are hanging out. As I'm looking out the window, I can see that they're taking turns racing each other through the obstacle course to see who's faster. Clearly they were having a blast, and I wanted to have some blast.
As you deserve.
I go outside and meet up with my friends and say that I want to race them. And we have a really fun time racing for most of the afternoon. And during this, I'm actually winning most of the races. You see, I had an advantage. While most people are fast or strong, my body is wiggly, which is perfect for an inflatable obstacle course environment. I can get around and over and through most any obstacle with relative ease. This allowed me to get a pretty big head about winning, because I was doing it a lot. The day was wrapping up, and inflatable things were starting to be taken down. But I wanted one more race, because I was on a winning high. One for the road, you know? The obstacle course was like this. Start, get over some bumps, dive through a hole, duck through some sideways pillars, then climb up a wall, and then slide down the other side, and whoever touches the bottom platform first wins. So the race starts, and that's exactly what I go through. Over the bumps, through the hole, sideways pillars, climb up the wall, and at this point, I'm pretty far ahead of my roommate. With the extra time I've gained, I decided I was going to be flashy. So I prop myself up, and instead of sliding down, I
Launch yourself?
What ended up happening was the inflatable structure was not fully inflated. There was a hole in it somewhere, so there was a lot of give to the inflatable course.
No.
And because I had jumped off of the top instead of sliding down, all of my inertia, when I landed on the bottom platform, punched through to the ground and did nothing to stop my momentum. I ended up landing all of my weight onto one of my ankles, and it really hurt. Now, I've never broken a bone before, but in this moment, I sincerely thought that I had. The guy who was taking down the obstacle course, like, peeked around the corner and was like, "You good?" And because I'm an idiot and embarrassed, I was like,
"Yeah, I'm fine."
And he was like, "Cool," and then left. I was absolutely writhing in pain, though.
God.
My friends had to drag me aside and lay me down because I couldn't stand up on my own. Thankfully, I have really good and loving friends, and one of them was actually a practicing nurse. So she went and grabbed a kit of a nurse thing and looked at my foot and told me to go to the doctor. I agreed, but because I couldn't exactly stand right yet, we decided to wait for the crippling pain to subside a little bit before we left. So to pass the time, my good and loving friends made jokes at my expense. Eventually, we do end up getting to the doctor, and the doctor explains that we should probably x-ray it just to make sure that there's no hairline fractures or something like that. To which I agree, so we go and get my foot x-rayed.
Microwaves.
And they determined my foot was fine. Not broken, just a sprain. Which is really hard to believe because of how much pain.
Because that shit hurts.
Also, it's been like 3 years and it still hurts. Ow. But they insisted that it was just a sprain, so never broken a bone. So that's the worst I've ever been hurt without breaking anything. In one hand, I have the pain I've been talking about, spraining my ankle, and that hurt. That was really bad. In the other hand, I have pain I've never experienced before, which is breaking a bone. Actually, really breaking a bone. Knowing what this felt like, I don't know if I could survive this pain.
True.
But there's only one way to find out. Thanks for watching this video. Before I go, a couple things. When I was editing this, my cousin discovered an old home video of all of us playing on a slide as kids.
Okay.
Which is really quick. Let's check it out. This is me. Look at those big old peepers.
Ah!
What is wrong with me? This was a deep...
So you've always been like this. You have always been like this, and your parents apparently never discouraged you.
Seated problem from childhood. I can't operate slides, I guess. Just get up on the top and
jump down. No, you're supposed to slide,
I'm not known for my intelligence. Moneymaker's up here.
The worst pain, I'm trying to think, because I have injured myself so many times. A lot. I'm really accident prone and I'm really clumsy, and I also have a tendency to think that I can do things that I can't, and then by the time I figure out that I cannot do them, it is too late. Let me think. The worst pain. Okay, this is gonna sound so dumb. But the worst pain that I've ever inflicted on myself, I guess, was how many years ago now? 3 years ago or 2? I think it's 2. I think it's only 2 years ago. And it's when I ripped my nail bed out of when I ripped my nail bed off of my nail, off of my finger. I have never felt pain like that before or since. It was so traumatizing. For those of you who don't know the story, I was at work, and this is when I had like really long nails, super long nails. They're super short right now for reasons, but I had really long nails and I was at work and something happened. My foot got like stuck on the ground because like it had a tread and it just got stuck anyway. And so I was falling and I reached out my hand to the wall to stop myself from falling, and my nail hit the wall and both jammed in and lifted up. And so it ripped off not just the acrylic from my nail, but it ripped off my entire nail bed. Like it was just, there was like my nail with the acrylic still attached and then like skin and blood and stuff under there. And it was disgusting and it was painful. And no, they did not let me go home because it was Super Bowl Sunday and I was the lead hostess. So I had to work like that. And of course, like throughout the night, I hit my hand multiple times. Like, and it's on the hand that I use. Like it's on my right hand. There's like no way for me to not like really use it. I am not ambidextrous. So then I had to go home and have my husband cut the nail off, and that hurt even worse. I was screaming bloody murder. And that's also how I learned that our neighbors do not give a fuck about us. Like if somebody came in and murdered us, our neighbors would not blink an eye. Cause I was screaming. I was like, please stop, please. It was bad. That's the worst pain that I can remember. Who knows? Other stuff has probably happened that I've blocked out, but that is the worst pain I can remember. Feel free to share your horrible stories of being injured down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave your reaction requests and recommendations. And other than that, peace out, Ho Biscuits. It's Skittin' Lit.